Oh, what are you doing? When I said I wanted a cuddle, this isn't really what I was aiming for. Quite musky, aren't you? It's quite an angle. Hi everyone and welcome to a new weekly. I'm not going to call these reading vlogs. I think I've decided these are going to be weekly bookish vlogs because they will include snapshots of what I'm reading, but also I'll probably be talking about how I'm picking what I'm reading. I'll be talking about DNF shortly, you know, all those different bits, plus taking you off on bookish things, whether it's to some of the libraries with my day job, part-time day job, or to Story House for some of the work that I do there, or, well, actually this week I'm just going to be at home, and some of the bookish content you're going to see is me sorting out the shelves that I didn't during Betwixtmas, because I still have all of my imported shelves, my non-fiction shelves and my crime shelves to sort, and then some actually down in the office as I am back to work proper this week. I was at work last week, as you'll have seen if you've seen the vlog, as we all went to Leicester together, which was an adventure. So I think this is going to be a bit of a bookshelf sorting vlog as well as what I'm reading as the week goes on. I'm here, as you can see, with my little grey shadow, also sometimes known as the little grey tyrant. So for those you don't know, Earl is, well, he's a cat who chose to live here. And are you bored of this story? Are you bored of your origin story? And how you turned up in June out of nowhere, and then just sort of slowly but surely came to stay and then moved in. We are fostering him at the moment because he has a chip that is unregistered, and so they're just looking on databases because he is, as you can see, a pedigree. So someone may suddenly register him being oh, you don't like to talk about this, do you? Should we stop? We should stop. He doesn't want us to talk about that, frankly. He doesn't want to think about not being here. Anyway, that's 2 minutes that you're not getting back. It's Sunday. I've got to finish editing last week's weekly bookish vlog, as I'm now calling them. Oh, you're over there, I keep forgetting. So far it's taken me about an hour and a half, and I've done about a third of it, so that could take quite a while. I might not end up going live later today as I originally planned. Maybe they're not destined to be on Sundays, because I haven't done odd about that. Anyway, bookish chat. I have in my hand my first DNF of 2025, and it is 365 poems for life, an uplifting collection for every day of the year compiled by Ali Esri. My mum bought me this for Christmas because she knows that I want to get into more poetry, and the idea is that you read one every day of the year. And so far on day 12 I've only enjoyed one, which was a Jackie Kay poem, and I now really want to get one of her collections. But I found them very earnest, and that is something that I've noticed with Ali Ezeri's anthologies that I've read before. I read a poem for every autumn day, I read a poem for every winter day, and spring day I didn't carry on to summer. When I say read, I always started them and I never got into the swing and finished them, and I think that's also because sometimes I don't just want to read one, I want to read a few. And so what I decided to do is not carry on with this, but instead head to this, which is Margaret Atwood's Paper Boat, New and Selected Poems 1961 to 2023. And I'm going to read maybe a couple at night, a couple in the morning, more if I want to, just one if I want to, and it'll feel less pressured. But also, I have read a couple of Margaret Atwood's poems before and enjoyed them, and I'm a big fan of her prose. So this is a chunk that I've been wanting to get through since it arrived last year. It was kindly sent by the publishers. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be heading to. Oh, and then in terms of fiction, as you will have seen, I am reading The Intuitionist by Colson Whitehead, and this I ended up getting yesterday after I wrapped up last week's vlog, one that I'm just doing, in Wardstones. I was looking for Harlem Shuffle because on my shelves I have Crook Manifesto, which is the follow-up or follow-on from Harlem Shuffle, and so I was like, well, I can't read this one yet, I really need to get to Harlem Shuffle first. But it didn't have Harlem Shuffle. When I was looking at Colson Whitehead's books, this one was actually the one that intrigued me more out of his backlist. It's his debut novel and is about a intuitionist called Lila May, who is the first Black woman to become an elevator inspector. And after she's inspected one particular elevator, an incident that happens and could have led to the death of the mayor, and she feels, and we know as readers, that she's been set up. And that premise really intrigued me. I've got a thing about elevators. I'm quite scared of them. I have been stuck in one once, which was a terrible time. Let's not dwell on that. So I started it yesterday, and I put it back down. I'm enjoying it so far. It's a lot denser than I thought it was going to be. I'm not quite sure why. I thought it might, I'm not saying that I thought it was going to be light. It's a book where there are not that many paragraphs, and that was always a bit of a tricky one for me, but I am intrigued because I want to find out what is going on. And the world that Colson Whitehead has created is really fascinating because it's sort of New York, but sort of not. And it's sort of the 1850s, but not as we really know them. And yet there is stuff that's historically kind of accurate and then stuff that totally isn't. And elevators are a big deal. So yeah, very intrigued. And if I didn't say this already, the reason I wanted to read Colson Whitehead next was because I saw The Nickel Boys last week and thought that was incredible. I thought that was an amazing book as well. I really liked The Underground Railroad, but I didn't 100% gel with it. There was a few issues that I had with it in the second half, I seem to remember. Not necessarily attacking my TBR like I intended, but yeah, this is good so far. Plan for the rest of the day. As I said, I need to finish editing this vlog. I don't know how long, but not this one. I mean, maybe I think starting on these bookshelves is going to be a morning job. I'm not back at work until Wednesday this week. That was a very random start to the vlog. Earl wants to be let out of this room now, so I will catch you when I catch you. I don't like the camera being that way. I'm so much more used to it being that way. I need to sort that out going forward. Hi everyone, it is much later on Sunday. It's about 2:30, and my first vlog of the year is taking a really long time to edit. It's also, I don't want to say it's triggering, but it is reminding me what happened the other week, which is kind of still really upsetting me. Anyway, I've decided I'm not going to put that live today because I need a bit of a break from editing, so I need to get another video live on the channel. And what I'm going to do is sort out this shelf here, and I would never make a good weatherman, would I? That shelf there. These are all of my 2025 proofs that I have so far, and one, I want them to be in date order so that I can sort of read them in a more timely fashion going forward. But two, I thought it'd be nice to make a most anticipated books of 2025 video part 1 from these shelves. Now, I have not been through any catalogues yet. I need to do that probably next week actually at some point, because I've got a meeting on the 23rd, I think, to start looking at authors that we want to book for Chester Lit Fest. So I need to know who's got books out, and I was dreadful at knowing all of that last year. If I do one every quarter on the channel, I think that could be quite nice, but there are some absolute bangers I'm excited for on these shelves. There we go. He could be a weatherman, maybe. I have not got the hugest amount of time to do it because I think I've got about an hour and a half of sunlight left. So let's get cracking. There we go. They are done. They're not quite in exact date order, but they're in month order. And I can now get editing and upload that video. Oh, you do it too early, Chris. You used to do it, I'd say morning and then you'd do it. So I'd say morning. There, that was what you used to do. Anyway, morning everyone. It is Monday the 13th of January, and we're on our way into Birkenhof to look and see if there's any sofas, because I really want to change the sofa in the library. It's getting so uncomfortable to sit on the other one. And also going for Greggs for breakfast, because why not? And I think that's it. Maybe a little scan of TK Maxx, a little scan of Waterstones. I'm not allowed in Primark. And I need to get my tea for tonight, although I fancy some dim sum. Anything to say, Chris? Anything to add? Are you in the market for anything?
I just can't stop thinking about the Greggs breakfast. I'm good enough.
It is a good breakfast. This is not sponsored by Greggs. I'd happily be sponsored by Greggs though. Can you imagine? I'd love that.
Imagine.
Apparently it's still Christmas, Chris. Still Christmas in Greggs. Merry Christmas, everyone. It is such a grim, dark day, but very quickly, didn't buy a sofa. Getting more of an idea of what I think I want for the library. It's just going to be a case of waiting to find one second hand. Just a tiny little TK Maxx haul, because it is my downfall. Got some Bayliss and Harding natural bath soak with oud, cedar and amber. I tried the shower gel version of this when I was in Leicester last week in the Premier Inn Plus room, because That's how I roll. It smelled amazing. So this was £3.99, reduced from something silly. And then I also got a rose quartz candle. I love the smell of rose, especially when it's not too overpowering, when it's got kind of like a savoury undertone. And this has that. So that was a delightful treat for £8.99. So there we are. That's my little purchase. Oh, I can't put the lid back on that. I think the dining room gives off charity shop back room for some reason, or even display room. Anyway, too many Welsh dresses and lots of china. Right, moving on. I had the audacity to interrupt someone while they were having a bath, didn't I, Biscuit?
I felt that I was only reading it to find out what the big plot was and how she became a spy situation.
Hey everyone, it is later on Monday. I have been doing some reading with my new lovely rose candle. I have made the decision though actually to stop reading The Intuitionist for now, not forever, just for now. It's very, very, very dense and I'm getting a little bit confused occasionally. It's got this real noir feeling to it, which I'm enjoying, but I'm just not quite in the right mindset for. So I think I'm gonna try something else and then head back to this. That's my plan. I'm halfway though. The book that I'm gonna head to is one that when I sorted out my 2025 proof shelves yesterday, I realised was coming out later this month. So I thought, oh, I should get cracking with that. And it's Emma Healey's Sweat. I loved Emma Healey's debut, Elizabeth is Missing. I thought that was just such a fantastic book. I'm intrigued this. It's meant to be a revenge thriller, so I will let you know how I get on with it. But that was just a little reading update. In terms of just a bookish, that's a term I'm going to be throwing around a lot with these vlogs. I am going to sort out my crime shelves while the sunshine is a-shining, and these set of shelves just here. I have a pile of books that I need to add to them. I am in a slight quandary because with my imported shelves, which are books that I've ordered from Canada, Australia, America, if they're not out here, there are some non-fiction and some crime mixed in, so I feel like I should actually do that on first, but because I've only got a couple of hours of daylight left, and thankfully the sun is out, as I said, I thought I would head to those because now I feel like I've accomplished something, and then I think I'm going to head to these ones when I've got like a full day tomorrow where I can get to them, and then hopefully my non-fiction. I think my non-fiction is going to be the easiest one to cull, so that's why I want to leave that till last, although actually I think crime is going to be fairly easy-ish, although I've got some series that I'm like midway through, and because I haven't read them for ages, part of me is like, do I actually want to head back to them? But then the other part is like, yeah, you really, really do, and you need to sort out the order of them. And anyway, that is the update. I shall do some speedy weedy whizzies. I said jizzy. I'll do a time lapse. That's the better way of putting it, of me sorting those out. I don't think I'm going to share what I unhaul. I might do that on Patreon, I'm not quite sure. I always feel a little bit about unhauling. Excuse me. I don't mind with DNF so much because I hope I've got some kind of constructive reasons why I don't read something and why other people might like it that I didn't. Whereas if it's a book I've not even read, or a book that I've just gone off because it's like, or maybe I should look at that for the series I'm going to do on me changing as a reader. So maybe I'll put them aside and include them in that or something. Yeah, I'll think about it. Anyway, that's the plan. I'm talking for too long because I actually find sorting the shelves really stressful, so I procrastinate like mad. But yeah, crime books today, then I think tomorrow I'm going to hit those import shelves, and then non-fiction whenever I've got a bit of space later in the week. So yeah, let's get that time lapse going. Just before I do that, I thought I'd show you, well, where I'm sat on the getting more and more uncomfortable sofa bed, but I've moved it way forward. These are all the imported books that I need to merge into these shelves, well, along with those, because there has been a bit of, well, and as you can see actually here, books piled on top of books. There are all the non-fiction ones that I need to merge, and then down here next to my trolley I have all the crime that need to merge in here. I think this actually is going to be more difficult than I think, but let's not overthink it because then I won't want to do it. Oh, and there is the much missed by many of you bum bars, which I may bring back up here at some point, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, there we go. This is what it's all looking like. Goodness knows how it'll look later. I mean, you don't get to see these shelves, which is why I've got away with stacking books on books, because they've been hidden by the sofa. Anyway, I'm wanging on again. Hey everyone, excuse the light. I mean, we're not getting full on Bookish Jesus, but we're not far off. I've sorted these shelves out. I'm not really that happy with them. I've called quite a lot. I was shocked by how many series, like at least 4 or 5 books I had by authors that I have never read. So I don't know whether I might try one of their books or not. Maybe that's something that I can do in the future, but I've taken them away for now. The other big shock is how many books by authors that I've read and loved. There's a lot of McDermott down here, who I used to read loads of, I haven't read for a while. Lots of Tess Gerritsen, who I have read recently and really, really love. Lots of S.J. Bolton, another crime favourite of mine, Sherry Lapina. Lots of Patricia Highsmith. I can't quite decide whether these, along with these, they definitely are, but I'm not sure about these, should go into the Persephone room, which is where I'm having bookshelves for like classics. So yeah, I'm not 100% happy with it, but I know that I'm going to have to merge some of these with it. So that is where we are at. I know I've doubled those up, I know, but I don't know, I couldn't quite work it all out, and I'm going to probably have to reshuffle them anyway when I sort this out tomorrow. So that's where we're at. I mean, it does feel quite therapeutic, but there is this thing with letting books go. It's like, what if I absolutely loved that one? What if that was going to be one of my favourite books ever? But I suppose the thing is, if I'm donating most of them to the library, apart from proofs, which I can't, then I could borrow them back from my own library, so that would make sense. There's still a few here I'm not sure about. I think what I need to do actually at some point is sit down with a notepad and go through the series that I have read where I've got to, and then get to the next one and try reading those. That's something I'm probably just not going to film, because it's hard to talk about like the second, third or fourth in the series, isn't it, if people haven't read the ones before it. So there we are. Right, tomorrow, that is the task. Quick update from the stairs where I'm hiding from my books. Yes, it's come to that, although actually there are some there. I thought I'd let you know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, because I don't want to film anything else. But I'm planning on having a bath and starting Sweat and using my new... Why do they say bath soak? Why not call it bubble bath? Is bath soak just like loads more grown up? Because bubble bath just sounds like loads more fun. Anyway, then what I'm planning on doing is I really want to whittle down the streaming services that I am subscribed to, because I'm currently subscribed to, this is really bad actually.
I've got Netflix, I've got Apple TV, I've got Prime, I've got Now, I've got, there's another one, Mubi, and I know Mubi's films, but still, I'm basically Disney.
I'm subscribed to quite a few, and I'm not using them lots, but I'm paying for them all. Slowly but surely over the next few weeks and months, I want to try and make sure that I'm using them at least like, I mean, my Prime will probably never go, which is a shame because it's the absolute devil, but I get all of my Real Housewives via that. So I think the other ones need to work a bit harder for money. Maybe Netflix less so. I did watch Missing You recently, which I thought was fine. I don't know if I talked about that. That is the plan. Now is the one that I think I use the least. So maybe Now is the one I need to sort of attack first. Attack. Sounds very dramatic. That was a boring grown-up chat. So I'm going to go and have not my bath soak, because that's for grown-ups. I'm going to have my bubble bath, because that's fun. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday morning and I'm back in the library. I've had a little bit of a word with myself. I'm going to be kinder to myself about this book culling / sorting situation, shelf sorting situation. I am going to sort out my import shelves shortly, starting with seeing what non-fiction are on there and any crime, and they can then be merged in with the non-fiction and crime shelves that I started on yesterday. Before I do that though, just a quick chat about The Penguin, which I started last night and I thought was brilliant, and apparently is post the new Batman and pre the next Batman. And I don't know if I've mentioned this on channel before, I feel like maybe I have, but I'm a massive Batman fan. I love Batman. I think about Ben Affleck as Batman quite often. Anyway, so that was really good. Started Sweat as well, and I'm enjoying it. There's something I'm a bit unsure about, but I'll talk to you about it more once I've read more. I'm only about a quarter of the way in so far. So I'm going to get cracking on these. I shall do the usual, I was called timey-wimey, it's just time-lapse. And yeah, like I said, I'm not going to necessarily talk about what I'm going to cull here. I might do that on Patreon, or maybe save it for a video where I talk about how my tastes have changed, even though these are not books I'm going to be trying. I think a lot of these actually, that does say something and gives me more chance to waffle on and procrastinate. A lot of these books I bought in the early days of following YouTube and being on Booktube, and I think my tastes have changed since then. But again, that's something I can talk about in a video where I look about the reader who I am now and trying to work out who the heck that is. It's going to feel good once I've done it, so let's stop procrastinating and get on with it. Oh, he's back already, like literally seconds later, because I forgot to say I do have a bit of a deadline on this, as this afternoon, well, late afternoon, early evening, I'm off to see Maria at the cinema. And so, yeah, I need to get this done before then. So, yeah, let's get cracking. Hey up, so I'm having a bit of a quandary with this because I think I'm trying to do it too quickly. What I have managed to do is get all of the non-fiction and crime out of this mainly, but what I probably need to do, and what I'm not doing, is go through each book and read the blurb and see, and because I've been doing it with music on the background, that's not been the right way to go. But I have moved some books here, these two, I don't know what to do with them, the New York Review of Books classics. This is where I keep all of my Natalie editions, and I feel like they should be with them, but also I want the jar to be there still, or maybe I can put the jar behind me in videos. Anyway, we'll see. I'm really struggling without having to go through every single one, working out, and because I'm in my head put a time limit on because I've got to go to the cinema, I'm sort of just like, oh well, I think I'll keep that. No. And actually what I might do now is do the non-fiction, just because I genuinely think that's going to be easier for me, and then I'll feel like I've accomplished something, and then merge the crime ones and then head back to these. I'm overthinking it all. I think I'm overthinking. I think it. I don't know how even interesting this is for any of you, but yeah, that's what we're doing this Tuesday. Right, I'm going to do the non-fiction now. It's quite a while later, and I have sort of done it. The fact that I managed to slightly cheat, because I managed to get rid of enough non-fiction to empty one of these shelves and therefore move all of my McNally Jackson books up, and then have a whole shelf for more imported books. So it's kind of worked. But one thing that I've realised is doing it in a mad world and trying to just get it done sometimes is great when you're in the mood and can help like get rid of ones that you know you want to get rid of, which sounds obvious. But I need to, I think, slowly but surely go through these shelves every now and again, sort of one by one, just to be like, am I in the mood for that? Particularly with non-fiction, I was realising as I was going through, what is it that I'm interested in reading non-fiction wise? Because there's just a plethora, like there's so much stuff out there. Is it that I'm interested maybe in queer history or queer experiences elsewhere? Because as I've done with, I guess, novels when I got back into reading after I hadn't for about 6 years in my early 20s, mid-20s. It was queer fiction that I went to when I tried to get back into, because I did get, well, have I got into it? I think I have. Anyway, when I wanted to get back into poetry, it's queer poetry that's helped. So I think that might be something. But I think I need to sort of hone it in. One thing I've realised I don't want to do is read lots of celebrity memoirs, so lots of those have gone. But yeah, I kind of want to look at, what do I want to look at? Non-fiction, if that makes any sense. And then with the, oh, that's a squeaky floor, because this used to be 2 rooms, so that's why there's this odd joint in the middle. Anyway, then with my imported shelves, I think I just need to, like I said, I think earlier, I got a lot of these when I was first getting into YouTube and watching it and sort of, yeah, buying a lot. And I think I just need to go through them slowly but surely and work out, right, do I want to read these, do I not? The good thing is that there is like a tiny little bit of space on these anyway. I don't have overflowing now. I've had to be quite tough, so that's good. But I do want to slowly but surely attack them. Maybe like I'll report back in like 6 months and see how I've got on with that. I do need to do the crime shelves, so I'm gonna do those quickly, and then go out for Maria. I always want to break out into Blonde is Maria whenever I say Maria, or how do you solve a problem like Maria? I say that I want to break out into that. I've never seen The Sound of Music or Mary Poppins. Don't take away my gay card. Right, I'm going to do those and then we'll be done, and then I'm off out. Okay, I've had to cheese again slightly just for my insanity. These are going to go into the secondary room where I keep my classics, and then I've had to double up on that bottom shelf. But very like these shelves, slowly but surely I want to go through what is on them, and what I really need to do is work out what series I've read, where I've got to, what I need to head to next, and then head to the next one of those. And I mentioned that before, I feel like I've repeated myself a lot. I'm not sure how great this vlog is going to be, or how interesting, or how chaotic, or how much people might judge me slightly for it. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at. Now time for me to get showered, get changed, and go and see Maria. Not going to sing, but I really, really want to.
My life is opera. There is no reason in opera.
Absolutely. Fuck is fuck. That is not an attractive angle. It is Wednesday, lunchtime. I'm back at the desk and still not filled these shelves, but also now got these to put on those shelves, because that's my non-fiction and my poetry and various other things. Also got all of those to sort and those to sort. So I might do the non-fiction and poetry shelves maybe now, just to get some of the sorting done. Sorry, I'm looking at the shelves and not at you. Oh, and I forgot to give you a film review of Maria, the new film with Angelina Jolie as Maria Callas. I loved it. I went in with quite low expectations, but I thought she was fantastic. I love the fact that we got snippets of her life as when she was younger, but really it's about kind of the last days in her life, and looking back, she feels like she's making or writing a living autobiography, which feels very Deborah Levy, actually. I thought the acting was phenomenal. I thought Angelina Jolie was brilliant in that role. It made me cry ridiculously earned, which I wasn't expecting. And the cinematography, oh my goodness, I'm desperate now to go to Paris and walk through the leaves and down the streets and maybe sing an aria or two. So yeah, that's a new goal for autumn now. If you're looking for something that's very classic and feels very, it's all about the emotion and the vibes, and oh my god, the music in it as well. Yeah, would recommend. Time to sort those shelves out. They're done. Oh, that's not a very attractive angle, is it? I've done them. So non-fiction is sorted, my poetry is sorted, and I think I'll go upwards if I need to with non-fiction next. Hello. As you can see, I've got tiny little, there, tiny little bit of space. Really, really, really couldn't be a weatherman. My audition has failed. I can't believe I've still got these empty shelves. I could do that. Maybe I could. Let's move on from me wanting to be a weatherman. Still have to merge all of these onto these shelves at some point. But can I be honest? I am bookshelved out. So won't be doing any more this week. So instead of this being a sorting out the bookshelves vlog, I'm going to call it a sorting out the shelves sort of a weekly Bookish vlog. What a cheat. I'm going to go back to work now for the rest of the afternoon, and then this evening I'm going to be watching Vivi Ganashananthan and Naomi Klein in conversation, the two winners of the women's prizes last year. So Vivi for fiction and Naomi for non-fiction. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting discussion, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Women's Prize family now. It's such a treat. And just a small reminder that I'll be hosting Sarah Waters online and in real life on Tuesday the 28th of January at 7:30 p.m. at Storyhouse, live from Storyhouse. So if you want to be in the audience, please do. And also online, and you can, if you can't make it at the actual time, you can catch up for a month. And it supports the Women's Prize Trust, which is the charity that run the prizes. So just putting that there. That's right, a little bit of promo. Oh, I've got cactus growing out my head. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to get back to work, but that's my plans for this evening, and I'll catch up with you anon.
I loved reading your book, and it was interesting to think about the ways that so many of the things that you brought up in Doppelganger were things that were sort of on my mind as I was dealing with a very different section of history.
Honestly, these winter sunrises are just stunning. Hey everyone, it is early afternoon on Thursday, and I thought I'd have a catch up with you before I head out and see Pip. We're off to go and see Baby Girl tonight. I've become obsessed with the cinema in 2025, I won't lie, and I've enjoyed every film I've seen. Nosferatu, brilliant. Nickel Boys, brilliant. Maria, brilliant. I'm hoping Baby Girl is as brilliant as I've heard some people say. I've heard some people say that it's dreadful. I will do a book review. No, I'll do a film review with Pip afterwards. Anyway, before I chat to you about Sweat, because I finished it, I thought I'd also say that the event with Vivi and Naomi last night was really, really good. It was so interesting hearing them sort of interview each other, and I was worried that one might take the lead over the other, and they didn't. It was just brilliant. So it's made me want to read Vivi's debut, because I have that on the shelves, and it's a book that was up for the Women's Prize that I haven't heard masses about, and I'm wondering, well no, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking of doing. It's a possible project, and I'm worried that if I put it out on the internet someone might steal it before I do it. But yeah, that was great, and it's made me want to try Naomi's book again, Doppelganger. Let's look on the nicely now sorted non-fiction shelves. Sweat by Emma Healey. I enjoyed this. It was what I needed in terms of quite a fast-paced read. It's about a woman who has been in a coercive relationship, and she's a personal trainer, and one day her ex turns up in the gym, but he's gone blind, and it's how she takes her revenge on him and how that kind of goes out of control. I enjoyed this. I was really unsettled by him being blind and that power, but I guess that's a flip on what the relationship that they had in the past is. That really unsettled me, and at first I wasn't sure how I felt about it, especially because I work for a charity half a day a week that is for visually impaired people in libraries. And I mean, I'm sure there was some, what do they call them, sensitivity readers with it, but it made me feel really uncomfortable. But I think that's the point. The whole book kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's very different for Emma, although I will say her previous novels have both been mysteries in different ways, and I do like a novel that's kind of a mystery and a thriller without being, I don't know, a mystery and a thriller. Sounds so silly, doesn't it? I know what I mean. I'm hoping that some of you know what I mean. Maybe not. I'm going to head back to the Intuitionist because I do really, really, really want to get this read. And also because it's a book that I've gone and bought myself, I want to make sure that I'm reading the books not as I buy them rigidly, but as I can. So I'm going to pack this in my lovely bag. It's the first proper outing for the bag that I bought in Leicester in Zara last week. This is from Zara. I'm obsessed with Zara. Would you like me at some point to do a what's in my bag video? Would that be of any interest? In fact, actually next week I'm going to be using, it's here, another Zara bag, which is the one that's going to be my work bag when I go into London and back or any other city in a day. Not an overnight bag, just a work bag. Hopefully it'll fit my laptop in. Anyway, that's all possibly very boring, so I'm going to go now, but I'll catch you once I've wrapped up doing my work and when I head into town to see Pip. On my way to town to see Pip for a Pip and Simon night of fun, seeing Baby Girl. First time on the bus since the incident, so we're a little bit nervous.
or not? Oh.
I thought you're directing me then. Director of film. You're getting all of them or not?
I don't want to hurt you.
I think I have power over you. Because I could make one call and you lose everything. Does that turn you on when I say that?
We've seen Baby Girl. We've also dressed the same. Oh, you can't, oh. No, not the same. And you've also got green collary bits. We don't, unintentional. It's just the way we roll. And we've been to see Baby Girl. What were your thoughts? I'm not going to get Pip to say exactly what she said when she came out of the cinema.
It's a no from me.
It's a no from her.
Yeah.
In the words of Jay Burwell at the end of it, girl.
Girl.
Yeah, it was quite strange. I thought Nicole Kidman was good in it. I really fancied Antonio Banderas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But odd. And I've never heard so much giggling in a movie ever.
No, yeah, it was just full of teenagers who were really giddy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they've... Let's just say I think they're quite fresh out the box.
But also just giggling at nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing was happening.
Pip says there wasn't enough sex in it. Anyway.
Well, no, just for it being at 18, I was expecting it to be much more.
She wants the money back.
I wanted it, I'm just saying.
She wants the money
quite
back.
tame, really.
Wants the money back. Anyway, so it's a no from Pip. It's a from me. And we need to watch something back. I want to see that Death as a Unicorn or whatever it was.
Yeah, that did look good, actually.
So, anyway, that's the highlights of Pip and Simon night. Anyway, bye from me and bye from Poop.
Bye-bye.
I feel like I'm in a fever dream.
Oh, hello. Always determined. Come on. Oh, that's it. Oh. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi. I think there's some naughtiness going on in here. What are you doing? What's going on in here? Hi. What's going on? Hey everyone, it is Friday late afternoon and I have finished work for the week. I normally only work half a day on a Friday, but I just had lots and lots of admin to do before the weekend, so I wanted to get all of that done. I've realised I've not got the book I want to talk to you about with me. It's here. How are you feeling about this new backdrop? I like it. It's looking a lot... I like the fact that they're all the same size. That's pleasing me. I'm liking the fact that this is more booky. That gap with the jar I loved. And the jar is still there. It's just there. I don't know. There's something more pleasing about that. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm loving this light. Anyway, Baby Girl. Well, me and Pippa talked about it. But I just feel so disappointed because I thought it was going to be really empowering about what women want, and at first it was, even though it was awkward, but then it sort of lost itself in guilting the main character. I don't know, it didn't deliver what I wanted it to deliver. But I know lots of people really love it. I know lots of people really don't, and sadly I just fell into the what a missed opportunity camp. That said, I will be listening to Father Figure by George Michael quite regularly from now, and also Antonio Banderas. Whew. Yeah, enough of that. Not sure how I'm feeling about this. I'm struggling. It's so dense, like it doesn't feel like there's space to breathe within the text, quite literally on the page, but also there's so many different characters and so much kind of going on. It's got this brilliant noir feel to it, but I'm just not being quite captivated like I want to be. And again, I think it might be mood. So I'm doing this again for now, not forever. And I've decided that I'm going to curl up this evening with The List of Suspicious Things by Jennie Godfrey, which I believe is set when the Yorkshire Ripper murders were happening, and we follow two young girls trying to investigate. It's giving me Joanna Cannon's The Trouble with Goats and Sheep, which I absolutely loved. I'm just hoping that I don't constantly think about that when I'm reading this, but we shall see. This, funnily enough, where I put Sweat, or Sweat's on the shelves, both this and Sweat were the books that were given away at the last 2 Women's Prize live events, which I had completely not realised until, well, this one's got Women's Prize exclusive edition on it. Yeah, that's the plan. It's Friday. I'm tired. This will, I think, be the penultimate day of the vlog. I think I'm going to start doing them Sunday to Saturdays. That's also the plan with these, as I'm now calling them, weekly bookish vlogs. I do feel like the whole shelf thing might have been a bit of an overstatement to say I was sorting all the shelves out at the start, but hey ho, life gets in the way sometimes. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Would like to go out and do something, but also at the same time, I'm slightly worried I feel a bit coldy. So is it just time to have a really, really lovely like weekend in the house, snuggled, cozy, watching some old classic films? Dunno, I'll have a catch up with you, I'm sure, in the morning and let you know how I'm getting on with this. I'll see you when I see you.
Before we get started on the list, a little tip that helped me get into discovering what books and stories, characters I enjoyed reading.
We always have lots to talk about. But then, this evening I'm just going to have a chill evening.
Hey up everyone, it is Saturday early evening and I am in a dreadful mood. I am feeling a little bit coldy fluey, I won't lie, but also after much debate of whether I was going to go out or not today, decided a little bit belatedly to go out, go somewhere new that I haven't been before, where there was an independent bookshop, loads of charity shops, just my kind of thing, and just had the most disappointing day. Do you ever get like that, where it's like you actually don't really want to go out, but you decide that you should? The place wasn't really that nice. I'm not going to say where it is. The charity shops were a little bit disappointing, although I did get 2 things, which were pretty good. I got 2 Nights in Lisbon by Chris Pavoni, which is, I think, a literary thriller set in Lisbon. And I'm going to save this for, you guessed it, when I'm in Lisbon. And also for £1.50, how could I say no? I really like the colours on that. I also got a really nice knitted vest top, which I'm planning on wearing when I'm in Lisbon, possibly with no t-shirt on. I mean, saucy, but it will be nice in the sunshine, hopefully in July when I'm there. This was originally from Zara. I promise this video is not sponsored by Zara because I think I've mentioned it a few times. This is Zara. I just love it, what can I say? Anyway, this was a whopping £6 and yeah, I think it's quite me. That was the highlight, because when I went to the bookshop, I nearly burst into tears. I suddenly realised that a book voucher that I was very kindly sent by Books My Bag for doing a video for them was in my wallet when it got nicked when I had the whole mugging situation at the beginning of January. And like, I was just devastated because I've been saving that voucher, which was not an insignificant amount either, to have like a real spree in an indie bookshop, and oh, now I don't have it. Now I can't quite decide, do I email them and tell them it's been stolen, or does that look really, really grabby? It was a kind of payment for doing that video, but oh, I don't know, it feels a bit awkward and ick. But also then, I was still in the mood to buy some books, but I've not been into a bookshop that had so little atmosphere, and also the shelves seemed to be like 2/3 full. And I couldn't see any like really new releases. It was a really weird experience. And I'm not going to mention the bookshop because I don't want to, you know, I wouldn't want to badmouth the bookshop. But yeah, it just added to the disappointment levels. Then went for a very disappointing see. And also I'm really kind of good because the first vlog of the year went up yesterday. And loads of you were saying how lovely it was with like the B-roll and everything. And I was thinking, oh, I'll get some B-roll today because I haven't really, in this vlog, I haven't really been anywhere apart from to the cinema to see Pip. I am out tomorrow and I'm hoping to get some B-roll in. So maybe the next vlog will start with that. But also there's that thing where people are like, that B-roll at the beginning was just so long. I was like, what about the rest of the video? So yeah, but thank you all for those of you who've commented so far, because it has been lovely to see, because I've been very nervous about getting back into vlogging, and now I'm really overthinking that this one's going to be an absolute waste of everyone's time, however long it ends up being. And the next one is going to be Come to Work With Me, as next week I am going to be going to London for a day with my team, so I'll tell you about what my job at Libraries Connected really entails. I've also got an afternoon at the Story House to start planning the next Chester Literary Festival. I won't be able to take you into that meeting, but again, I'll be able to talk about that job a bit more. And I'm still waiting to find out, be going to Northern Ireland to film some content for the charity that I mentioned earlier, which is Share the Vision, working with visually impaired people in libraries. So I can talk to you a bit about that. And then the week after, I don't think I'm going to make them into one epic vlog, but I think I'll do another vlog about events with authors, because I'm interviewing Sarah Water, as I mentioned before, on Tuesday the 28th, and then Lottie Hazel, who wrote Piglet in Oxford, at the end of that week. So that's what's coming up in vlogs basically. But if there's anything else you'd like to see, anything you'd like me to talk about, let me know. I'm always here for constructive criticism. But I'm going to take my sulky self off to go and read more of this, which I'm enjoying very much. I was worried at the beginning it was going to be a little bit precocious. I do think occasionally they suddenly really have a Yorkshire accent and then quite a lot don't, and that's bothered me a couple of times. But like overall, I'm totally in, and I'm really enjoying how the book alternates between these two young, well, Mib's narrative particularly, and then as they have this list of suspects who might be the Ripper, we get to hear those people's stories and a bit of their back history, and what it adds to the nuance that we're getting through Mib's narrative that she isn't quite getting as a young person. And I always find that quite clever, and that is reminding me of Trouble with Goats and Sheep quite a bit. But also I think the way it's looking at discrimination then, but also the fact that that is still going on now, is quite, yeah, very readable. I'm into it. That's how we will leave this vlog, on that positive note. In fact, I'm so into it, I'm gonna go and have a bath with it. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see more of, what maybe you didn't love. I'm sorry that I did have a bit of random sort of almost rave music, frankly, in this video. I don't know what overtook me there. I hope you're all doing super duper well, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye.